So that's what you do. And then you can fill it with actually whatever you want, whatever you need, whatever you like. Here we have two traditional Polish fillings. So this one is actually sauerkraut and Polish woodland mushrooms. It's something we do for Christmas, and this is a huge tradition in Poland before Christmas that you sit together, you make your own pierogis, and you chat. It's like mindfulness, a little team building thing in a little family. And this is what we also try to do during the dinners, team building activities with our incentive groups. That's as part of the lunch. We do the dumpling demo, we do a little cooking. And then the second filling we have is the potato, cottage cheese, onion, garlic, and salt. So maybe we'll take this one. So you just take a little spoonful of the filling, you put it inside, just like this, in the very middle, and then you do it with your own. Then you do it with your own hands. So you just put it in the very middle, and then you stretch the borders of the piece of dough, and you join it together. And then each family has a different technique, but mine is little waves at the very end. Just make sure they stick together just like this. Yeah. And then you have a little dumpling. So it's as easy as this. Here you have a few ones that I cooked before. So we had a little lunch all together, and I think we'll share some more of them later on. So this is very simple, dough making, making fillings, and then adding them together. So this is a little thing that you can actually do in whatever Polish destination in Poland. And we have actually quite a few destinations that can do that, but we'll focus on the three main destinations that you might know. So Warsaw, the capital, where we are broadcasting from, then Gdańsk, Danzig at the seaside, and Krakow at the south of Poland. So we will switch to our presentation now so you can actually see, and I can talk more about the city and the experience. So hopefully you'll be able to see it. So here it is.
Yeah.
Here we are in the very middle of Poland, where our head offices are. But before we start, we have to mention why Poland. And I call it the triple C effect because it's cool, it's close, and it's very cost effective. It's cool because Poland, now being the sort of economical engine of Europe, has really a lot to offer, and a lot of cool things are happening here. So you can see a lot of great venues, hotels, incentive options. There is everything from everyone, from incentives at the sea to winter incentives in the Polish mountains, a huge variety. It's close, I don't have to explain this, from all major German destinations, also in Austria and Switzerland. It's very easy to fly over to Poland, go by train, go by bus, go by car. So we even had sustainable incentives where it only took us, took the group 6-7 hours to get here by bus. So it's a very easy way to get to Poland as well. And it's cost effective because Poland is one of the few countries that does a thing called reverse charge, meaning that if you do conferences, events, bigger projects, we can apply reverse charge, meaning no Polish VAT. So it's a huge bonus from our side, and it's very flexible as long as it's a package of different things. So there are a lot of advantages going in Poland's favor. But today we are going to focus on what stands out, what's new, what's cool, and we will start with the capital, with Warsaw. You know, what's cool about Warsaw is that Warsaw is this huge metropolis. It's actually currently the tallest European capital. Of the tallest skyscraper you can see at the back is 330 meters, and it actually is a venue as well. And it's a very eclectic combination of the old town, as you can hear, to some of the royal venues, to very cool industrial venues like this former factory turned into a huge restaurant and a venue for about 300 people. And then you have a nice variety of hotels, from those palace-looking boutique hotels in the old town. You can see one example here, to Polish brands like Puro, available throughout Poland. We use them often for incentives where they present the Polish elegance, hospitality, and local furniture and arts. But obviously you want to know what you can offer to your clients, to your group. So we will very quickly focus to our top 6 Warsaw incentive activities. Just to let you know, we have a top 6, top 7, top 5. I mean, I couldn't decide, so I just made, it could be anything, just our top basically. And we will quickly cover stuff like old-timers vintage drives, like you saw before, but also cool back to communism city games, Polish dumplings, so again what you just saw, to Polish vodka masterclasses, and water sports, as well as skydeck gardeners. So it's a very eclectic combination of a variety of activities. Yeah, here is the dumpling workshop, one example. Going to the vodka museum. So it's a beautiful museum where we can actually do a vodka competition. This is a vodka master chef. It's actually a photo from Norman will recognize this from the event we did here, a Mice Focus event a year and a half ago. And the new addition is that Warsaw has this modern, cutting-edge racetrack. So you have any automotive clients who want to do test drives, or if you have incentives where you would like to test speedy cars and do some sort of upgraded exercises for driving. So there is a very modern racetrack with conference facilities just outside of Warsaw, about 25 minutes from the city. So this is very cool. Not many people know that Warsaw is a city that lives on water. So this is the Vistula River, the main river that actually flows throughout Krakow, Warsaw, and Gdańsk. And it's been recently rediscovered. So not only you can actually do yachting, kayaking on the river, but also barbecue by the beach and do some water activities. So this is a very interesting variety of options that you can have just next to the old town and next to the skyscrapers. Here is an example of a river cruise with one of the vessels that's available. Warsaw also has some amazing venues, cutting edge, inspired, and with a lot of technology. From mapped buildings like this one, it's an event we did a couple of years ago for one of our clients, to multi-visual galleries where each wall is separable, movable, and you have 60 different projectors. So there's a lot of different venues, from historical to modern and industrial. And just to show you one of the example ones, it's a Skyfall. It's the tallest and the highest skydeck in Europe currently. If you know the skydeck in Chicago, this is a little copy of this, and Europe's only tilting skydeck. So here you can see what the space looks like inside. You can do a party from like 50 people on a gala dinner to up to 150 in a cocktail setup. But talking about skyscrapers, this is the tallest skyscraper in Europe right now. And on the top of it, you can actually see a little garden and a venue and a viewing terrace. So if you want to take your clients to the highest rooftop of Europe, here it is in Warsaw. So it's a very nice variety of different things. Going to the seaside then, to Gdańsk. Gdańsk also is rediscovering the sea and the activities, and we'll cover this a bit. So as you can see, it's this sort of a northern city with a Hanseatic feel, just like Copenhagen, Lübeck, Amsterdam, but with a Polish touch. So yeah, some of the photos of Gdańsk here and how beautiful the old town is. And obviously the magic behind Gdańsk is that it also has this very interesting mix of modern granary architecture combined with history, but then also with the seaside. So here you have the adjoining town of Sopot, which is 25 minutes away from Gdańsk, where you have amazing beach restaurants, hotels, and long pier just by the Baltic coast. Also a great variety of hotels. An example of, again, a Polish incentive hotel called Puro, to some conference hotels like this Radisson Hotel by the sea with this amazing events pavilion with a huge LED screen. So again, from incentives to conferences, Gdańsk has it all. And as for Gdańsk, we have our little favorite top 7 activities. And here it is, a little list We obviously share this with you. For those who will be interested, we'll be more than welcome to send you the copy of this presentation afterwards. Starting from the Fahrenheit tour. So not many people know that Mr. Fahrenheit, who came up with the temperature scale, was born in Gdansk. So we do this sort of a Fahrenheit tour where we ask the guests if it's too hot or too cold, and they have to find some of the hottest places in the old town where they have to taste the local eclairs or the Polish cherry vodka, or try doing the amber jewelry, because this is also an interesting fact. Gdansk is the capital of the amber, of the Baltic amber. So you can do an amber workshop there too. But as I mentioned, it's not only the old town, there is also the sea. So you can actually start little regattas straight from the old town of Gdańsk and go to the seaside, go to the beach. So you can combine this with a beach lunch, dinner, whatever you want to do. And there is the newest thing that is available for incentive groups. So this is the fishing adventure. So we work with some of the local fishermen who have the applicable insurances and permissions to fish on the open water. So we can actually take up to 30, maximum 35 people per group on a little fishing trip into the Baltic coast, when they have to do little fishing, and then we actually can take the fish back to the restaurant when it's quickly deep frozen, and then it can be fried or baked for the group. So this is a very interesting thing that's been recently also possible for incentive groups in Sopot. But also there is this industrial charm about Sopot. As you can see here, we have this amazing Gdańsk shipyard. It's one of the biggest shipyards in Europe. And it has some very cool post-industrial spaces. So here a little example of some artistic workshops, like, you know, DJing, doing your own t-shirts, sort of a little artistry combined for different sizes of groups. When it comes to venues, you cannot really do anything without St. John Center. It's one of the former churches of Gdańsk that's now been converted into this sort of a cultural center. And here is an example of a DJ rave we combined with a little dinner. So yeah, it's a venue that's absolutely stunning and has a lot to go for it. But then also, again, skyscrapers, not only Warsaw has them, also Gdańsk has one of the tallest ballrooms in Poland. You have 600 meters of garden space just overlooking the Baltic coast, and you can do a gardener conference over there. And also it houses Gdańsk's only Michelin star restaurant called Arco. So a lot of possibilities. And from the unique venues, my shout out also goes to the Shakespeare Theatre, which can house up to 350 people for a gardener setup, and it has an open retractable roof. So you can make a little surprise and you can open the roof during the dinner. So that's a very cool option. Now, from the seaside, we're flying down to Krakow, to the south of Poland. And Krakow is this sort of a more traditional leaning historical capital of Poland. It's actually the only city that was completely untouched during World War II. So it is exactly like it was historically. It has the biggest market square in Europe and some beautiful, lovely venues and a lot of charm to it. Here are some little glimpses of the venues and restaurants, and also the Jewish district that's also been preserved in a pristine way as it was before the war. When, for example, you can rent this amazing former synagogue as a little venue for your dinner or a DJ party, whatever you want to do. And Gdańsk is very rich with different interesting boutique hotels. Here is one of the examples of the newly opened Indigo Hotel in the old town of Krakow, next to the castle. When it comes to the activities, there are also some Polish classics. Obviously, you can do a lot of things with the flavor tour, discovering the Polish folk cuisine. However, it's not only about folk and about the dumplings, because there is this newest addition to Krakow, which is the Jeep 4x4 rides across the desert just outside of Krakow. It's half an hour away, and it's possible to do the groups of up to 120 people. And what it looks like is that you do driving with the Jeeps. You can actually do climbing on the walls, and then you can organize a lunch by one of the rocks in one of the caves. So it's a very interesting combination of outdoor activities that can be done just outside of Krakow. And when it comes to caves and underground spaces, Krakow also has this amazing, some people know it, UNESCO heritage site called the Wieliczka Salt Mine, which is not only a place that we can take your group and they can do the sightseeing of it, but also they can dress as miners and they can discover the salt mine just like miners would do. Later, having, for example, a gala dinner in the salt mine. So it is a very unique setting and something that's a definite USP, unique selling point for Krakow. And the gala dinners there can be hosted for 20 people, for 120, even 400, with the biggest salt chamber that they have. So it's a fully operational venue and an incentive attraction. Krakow also has some very interesting venues. Apart from the royal restaurants, venues, castles, etc., there are some interesting places like this old tram depot. But also, if you want to go to the future, Krakow also has it, because here you have Alvernia, which is one of the biggest venues in Poland, with a variety of domes combined together. These are little separate event domes. It looks like a space station, but look inside. It's a venue that you won't be able to beat. It looks like something taken from a science fiction movie, and it has this sort of a futuristic feel. So this is where I would leave you at with Poland in the future, because this is definitely a country that goes forward. Here are my contact details, but obviously you probably have it from Norman and the SDR team as well.